Should you buy a Kurd or a Celtic? I don't know, but I'm going to try and help you answer that question. Buying a handpan is expensive, so make sure you are super informed before you invest. I've got two Meridian instruments here. They are both stainless steel. If you don't know what that means, check out my video. So they've got the same sound quality, but they've got a different set of notes on the top. They do, however, have the same ding. They are both D. So both of these instruments are based around the scale of D minor. That's D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and D. However, the Kurd or Celtic refers to where these instruments are laid out. You could get another instrument that's based on that D minor, and it would have the notes in a different position. So I'm going to talk you through the pros and the cons of these two different layouts. Firstly, D Kurd. The advantage of this instrument is it has every single note. It has A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, and if yours is extended, it might have a C as well. But even if you don't buy an instrument that's got an extra note on, it'll go up to an A. So your bog standard D Kurd sounds like this all the way around the outside. This is great because it means that you can make various different chords. You can make every single chord that is a part of that D minor scale. You can make that easily, and you'll have one of every single type of note on it, which is handy. If you want to play B flat, you have a B flat, a D, and an F to make that chord, that set of notes. And it's also handy if you want to play certain tunes. That use all of those notes. However, this is a little bit harder for some beginners. Some people want to sit down and play the handpan without worrying about any clashing notes. But these two notes are only a semitone apart, the smallest distance possible between this A and this B flat. Which means if you're a beginner and you choose to hit these two notes at the same time, you can get a really, really clashy sound. So that's something to look out for. It also goes up to a high A normally, which is a nice high note, but it's not the highest possible note. It is arranged with all of the chords next to each other, so notes near each other will always sound nice, apart from these two danger notes. And these ones don't sound great either, but that's okay. The advantage of D Kurd is you'll find loads of tutorials for them. They are everywhere. So many people make lots of videos all about the D Kurd, and it's handy to be able to put your hands in the same place as someone else's. However, this note, this B flat, is a note that doesn't sound great on a lot of makers. Because of the size of the handpan and the way that frequencies work, this B flat is an impedance note and it can sound pretty wobbly. Of course, if you buy from a high quality maker, it should be fine, but it's something to listen out for. If you're checking out a handpan, go for this B flat, and if the B flat is wobbly, the rest may not be great either. That's the one that will show it first. So that is an intro to D Kurd. It's a super common scale, you'll find it a lot. Let's have a look at how it compares with the Celtic. The Celtic uses the notes from D minor, but it skips out that B flat, which means it sounds like this. A, C, D. And it goes all the way above that A, which is standard, to that extra note, which only an extra note that you pay for reaches on a D Kurd. Most standard D Kurds won't have that note. You see how there's one extra note on this. That means that you don't have that clashy sound when playing the two notes next to each other. So for beginners, it can be helpful to hit any notes and not worry about them sounding bad together. This is really helpful for finding patterns that work really well. Any combination of notes almost randomly is going to sound pretty good together. If you choose to buy a D Celtic, that means that you'll be able to follow tutorials on the Kurd. However, your hands will be in the opposite position. If you're watching someone playing a Kurd, their first chord is going to be over here. Our first chord is all the way down here. So it means that you have to get used to swapping over their hands. Because to play D, E, F, gong, 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 on the Celtic is the opposite way around. The pitches are the same, but it's on the other side. So you've got to get used to watching someone else playing. In general, I do suggest to students that they go for a Kurd. If they're in the middle, having that extra B flat means that you can do everything a Celtic can, but it has an extra option. So for most people, I would suggest the Kurd. Not only is it common, and you can see a lot of tutorials on it, it has that one extra note. However, if you just want to be able to sit down, relax, and not think about anything when you play, that B flat can be a little bit difficult. Of course, I would say just learn exactly what you're doing and you can use that B flat to your advantage. However, that is the main difference between a Celtic and a Kurd. So have a listen to the two instruments, you'll find loads of examples everywhere, and see which one pulls your heartstrings more. Or you might choose a totally different instrument, which is also awesome. You can get Kurds and Celtics that don't start on a D. They start on a C sharp, an E, or an F. So while the scale sounds the same, the actual home key might be lower or higher. There's a lot to think about when you're choosing a handpan, so make sure you listen to a lot of different examples and do your research, seeing which ones make you feel more at home when you hear them.